And with that came the celebration too of their 07 and 09 titles, which, Denny, as we know, were retrospectively stripped from them, and it's caused quite the stir.
James, Melbourne are a great club who I think are widely respected throughout the league for a lot of things they've done. They're not respected for that salary cap time, and I really can't understand why they would do that. I get the players believe they won those competitions and they took the bumps and bruises, they did all of that, but the competitions was taken off them. And no matter which way you want to argue it, the fact is they were deemed, I guess, illegal by the NRL, and they don't count in the record books. I mean, the Storm, I guess they can do what they want in their own private space, but this was quite a public display of celebration. And, you know, good luck to the players who worked their butts off to get there, but I can't understand how they can celebrate cheating competitions, because that's what they were.
Gone to great lengths too, Gal, to do it. They've actually purchased replicas of those trophies, which were taken from them for $20,000 each.
Yeah, I thought it was really poor form from the Melbourne Storm, to be honest. Really, really poor form. Look, I've got no doubt celebrate the players, as you said. The players wore the bumps, wore the bruises. They got the memories and the emotion of winning the grand final. So you can't take that away from the players, and you can't hand it back to Manly or Parramatta as time went by, because they never got to experience it, the players. But I thought to have trophies there and to celebrate it with trophies, I thought was I thought it was really disrespectful and almost an up yours to the NRL. I thought
that's what it was, Gav.
I think it was. I thought it was really poor from the club. As I said, celebrate the players, have the players there. They went through the emotion of it all. They in their minds won the grand final, and if they feel that way, it's up to them however they feel. But to actually celebrate it with trophies, I thought was a big up yours.
Well, Justin Rodsky, the CEO of the Melbourne Storm, was obviously asked about this decision from the club. This was his response. We understand that retrospectively the premierships were taken away from our club, but given we were celebrating 25 years as a club, we felt it was appropriate those players and teams were properly acknowledged. Gus, what did you make of the decision the club has done?
Yeah, I don't think it's such a big story. Look, all this aside, I would love someone to write the real story of what actually happened at that time. I really would, because I'm very privy to a lot of the information, and I guess the secrets will die with me, as it will die with a lot of people. But a lot of people were thrown under the bus at that time, a lot of people, by people at the very top of a few organisations. They were thrown under a bus.
Including the players?
Absolutely. I felt very sorry for the players at that time. I actually campaigned and argued for them. The majority of those players had come to them as teenagers and had come through the grades and graduated through to NRL to win the major prize that the game has to offer. It wasn't as though they were going out and buying players from other clubs and offering yachts and boats and cash and everything just to get them in the system. They actually developed those players so it wouldn't matter what you play. Just because you pay them doesn't make them any better players. So I argued at the time. I'm not saying whether or not they should have celebrated these after being taken away retrospectively, but what happened in the game at that time was an absolute disgrace, and it was a massive cover-up. And, you know, one day, I suppose the truth will never be told. I guess no one will tell it because only very few know it.
I reached out to Parramatta today to get their reaction, because they were obviously directly impacted by this. They were in that game. They said they've got bigger issues right now in their football team and winning games and trying to make the final, so they didn't want to involve themselves.
But the Eels wouldn't feel like they won it because they got discovered.
No,
you don't feel like you won it.
But it happened in front of them.
But you couldn't go back now and say, OK, we've taken it from the Melbourne Storm, we give it to you, Parramatta, you've won a competition. There's no way in the world the players would even accept it or even want it. They never went through the emotion of being there and actually doing it. So I don't think that's even discussion to even ring clubs and ask their opinion on it, because they probably won't care about it.
Parramatta were there for that celebration.
Yeah, I know. So I just don't think that they care about it, and they can't change it. They cannot change it. But I think from the Melbourne Storm's club point of view, they probably shouldn't have celebrated it with the trophies. I understand totally what the CEO said about the players. You've got to celebrate what the players did. You can't take that away from the players that were there, particularly the ones that probably weren't getting paid. So you can't take that away from them. But at the end of the day, they shouldn't have had the trophies there.
Gus, I'm assuming I'm not going to get too much more info out of you on this one, but you mentioned the word cover-up. You talk about the salary cap scandal of those two grand finals and that period in time being a cover-up for something bigger that we don't know about?
No, I'm just saying people were thrown under the bus.
He only wants us to know certain things. See, this is another example. He only lets us know what he wants us to know.
Okay. I get the feeling.
It'll die with me, don't worry.
Can you write the book already?
Right?
please?
I'll write it and you can have it posthumously.
You give it to me, and then
Well,
I'll
and
get
then
it
you can,
printed.
after I'm gone, and then you can say, wow, he did know.
Couldn't we do like a video of it instead? Like
Yeah.
have it like
Yes.
like a book. Let's.
I don't give people up.
Like a little time capsule.
I don't give people up.